Hi guys, welcome to class. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to join me today. This class is basically is part of the solution focused therapy process, and the ideal is to develop some intervention used for clinical depression. So pull up the next screen right here for you guys. So this is the agenda I have lined out for today. Obviously, as always, our favorite thing is to do class introductions. Some of you guys may or may not know each other or something interesting about each other. After that will be the learning outcomes. So we'll be talking a little bit about what we're going to be learning actually in these outcomes. There'll be two of them. There will be an SFT or CBT worksheet. The reason why it says or is because you guys will be circling which one it is. So what I'm going to do today is actually pull that up on the screen for us to share, and we can kind of work through that piece together. Then after that, we've got to take a case study with Jessica. And once we read the case study with Jessica, we'll just read that to yourselves, and then you're going to do the BDI-2. I know many of you have already done the BDI-2, so you're going to score that, and then we're going to have you guys pair up a little bit, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. And then you guys will create a couple interventions for each piece. And then obviously we're going to take time to, after that, to kind of share our discussions and feedback, okay?
Yep.
All right. So class introductions. Again, my name is Clarence Chapman. I go by Chip. And again, I appreciate you guys being here. A unique hobby or activity I enjoy. Some of you guys know me. I enjoy doing crafts. Today, I learned to build wooden gnomes for my wife. I'll have to show you guys pictures of that. So I got suckered into doing that, but enjoyed doing it. Obviously, my current profession is I'm a child and programs family coordinator here at New Horizons. So on my screen, looking down through there, Lisa King, you are up to bat.
Okay, well, Lisa, my hobby or activity isn't really unique, but I used to like going to Planet Fitness, and now I can't go there. So my new hobby has been going to Lancaster Bike Trail and walking. And of course, I work at New Horizons as well, and I work with seniors.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, who's next?
I can go next. Hi, everybody. My name is Talana Pillay. I'm a kids case manager at New Horizons. I do know many of you. An activity that I have picked up recently is cross-stitching. It's definitely interesting. It's relaxing, but it can be very frustrating at times.
Imagine. And you said that was what again?
Cross-stitching.
Oh, wow.
It's got tiny little, you have to make tiny little X's to make a picture, yeah.
Kind of like, I always say this wrong, the Mandelas.
It's like an embroidery. So you're using the thread and needle, and you've got like a canvas. And I am using a template, but I'm also trying to be creative at the same time. So, yeah.
Thank you. All right, who's next?
I'll go. My name is Angela Bolin. Unique hobby or interest, I would say, is working outside lately and being with my horses. I am currently employed at New Horizons Mental Health, and I am an intensive home-based therapist.
Thank you.
I'm Amanda. I'm case manager at New Horizons, and I like to crochet. I did try cross-stitching once, and I absolutely hated it. It was infuriating.
I tried crocheting once. I worked at an agency in Athens, and it was the residential treatment center for teenagers, both boys and girls. And one of the leaders there, she really had the kids learning how to crochet. And I never could figure out how to get the little knot started, you know, to even. So blows me away. I remember one kid came out of the room one time, and of course he got in big trouble, but he weaved himself up a bikini. So he had the bottoms on, and he come to group like that. And I thought it was hilarious. And I was like, can't do that, guys. You can't do that. All right. So moving along, solution-focused therapy. So obviously, Stephen D. Shazer was the guy who created solution-focused therapy with his wife. Solution-focused therapy talks about creating solutions. This is just a quote of his, well, several quotes that I put together. Basically, a change in where you stand changes everything is kind of the end result. You know, Descartes always says, I think, therefore I am. And so Stephen Shazer believes that, you know, most people are aware of their problems. What they don't have the capability of is finding solutions. And then a lot of us even know that we have negative thinking. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but being a little self-aware of myself, sometimes I can feel my mood shifting and feel like, you know, I know I'm not thinking like I should. But yeah, so today's introduction will be a little bit about towards solution-focused therapy. Learning outcomes, students will evaluate key differences between CBT and SFT. We talked about that. We'll be looking at a case study with Jessica. And at the end of the lessons, basically you'll analyze that case study, administer a BDI-2, score it, and again, each of you guys will be paired up where one of you guys will be doing SFT, one of you will be doing CBT, and you'll create an intervention each. And then I want you guys to talk about that actually amongst yourselves in this right here. So it'd be kind of like a group share of what you guys think the differences are. All right. Okay, so you guys had, and I'm going to hit escape here and minimize this real quick. You guys had an SFT CBT worksheet. You guys have that with you or on you? One second here. I'm going to find it on my end. I just had it. All right, let's do this right here. Right here. I'll pull up that email real quick. All right. All right, guys, can you see this worksheet right here?
Mine is still in the PowerPoint.
What's that?
It's still the PowerPoint.
I can only see the
Okay.
PowerPoint.
One second there. So I minimize it. So can you see? So you guys can't see this right here. All right, one second here. There it is. All right, can you see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So basically what I want you guys to do is we can just do it out loud. Tell me if the following questions are solution-focused therapy or cognitive behavior therapy questions. So number one, how do you experience the problem? How often do you experience the problem?
Solution. Oh, sorry. We have a hand raising button. My bad.
Oh,
That's okay.
Where's that at?
If you hit your chat button, it'll show up, or your participant button.
Okay.
Okay. Here, I'll tell you what. Let me make it easier. I will call on one of you guys, okay? And then
Okay.
which one it is. All right, so let's just go down my chain. So Angela, how often do you experience this problem, SFT or CBT?
I would say SFT.
Okay. The actual correct answer there is CBT. Because
What?
focusing on the problem. That's one of the key words with CBT is focusing on the problem.
Okay.
Not the solution.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Duh.
Talana, how often does the problem affect how you feel about yourself?
I would say that would be CBT as well.
It is CBT. Key word being problem. All right, number 3. What's happened in your life that tells you that hitting or suicide might be that? Okay. What's happened in your life that tells you that hitting or suicide might be helpful in this situation? It's actually supposed to be not be helpful. SFT or CBT? Amanda?
SFT.
That's correct. Okay, Lisa, how have you been coping with the problems that brought you into therapy?
SFT.
That's correct. Number 5, back to Angela. What gives you hope the problem can be solved?
SFT.
That's correct. All right, Talana, what do you think caused the situation to worsen?
Is that number 7? Yes, I have CBT for that.
That's correct. Number 8, Amanda. Have there been times in the last couple of weeks when the problem did not happen or was less severe?
SFT.
That's correct. Number 9, Elisa. At the upcoming court hearing, what changes do you think the judge will expect from you in order to consider returning your children?
SFT.
That's correct. And then lastly, back to Angela. How is your depression today on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst?
SFT.
That would be incorrect.
Oh,
You know why?
no.
Because you're
Okay.
focused on the problem of your depression.
That's right. 10 being the worst. SFT would say, how is your depression today if 1 being your depression is severe to 10 being not severe? You would say, for example, a 6. I would say, well, tell me what a 9 would look like. Because the goal in SFT is what we call scaling the question. And so what we did there is we scaled you and made you think about how we're going to improve your situation or what it looks like versus how can we fix the problem. If that makes sense. Guys, I'm going to exit out of this and pull the PowerPoint back up real quick. Good job, by the way. You guys did really well, actually. So let me get out of here and pull up the old PowerPoint. Okay. We'll screen share. Let's stay right here. And can you guys see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, case study, Jessica. You guys had your case study in front of you. Take about 2 to 3 minutes, read through that, and then get ready to do your BDI-2. We talked about that earlier, and we will have you guys do that BDI-2 and score it. And then from there, I will let you guys know what to do next.
Okay. My video might turn off for a minute
That's fine. Thank you.
because
You know.
I'm using my phone.
Okay. You can still hear us, Angela?
Yeah.
Wonderful. If you guys have any questions after the case study, let me know. And if you want, you can go ahead and tell me. Obviously, you're doing a BDI-2, but do you guys agree with the diagnosis of the case study? And again, once you guys are done with the case study, go ahead and grab your BDI-2 there that I emailed you guys. and circle what you think is the best answer according to the case study you read. And like I said, some questions may be a little off, but just use your best judgment. Then when you're done, I would like for you guys to tell me what you decided your score is. I want to see if there's a difference in the scoring on that depression scale. Because the depression scale obviously is mild, moderate, and severe, your interventions will alter a little bit depending on the outcome of that depression scale.
And just to clarify, the BDI scale, you're wanting us to do it based on the case study we just read.
That's correct.
And don't do it about yourself.
Not during the COVID crisis, no. Otherwise, we'll have to end this session and maybe do some therapy. And when you're done, just give me a little "I'm finished," and when everybody's finished, we'll discuss. Take about another 2 more minutes or less if you need. All right, guys, about another 30 seconds here. All right, guys. So I want you guys to pair up. We talked about this before the session began. What I want you guys to do is Group A. I would like to have Talana and Lisa. You guys will develop just as 2 interventions, 1 each. So go ahead and write down what you think a good intervention would be used to help Jessica expose and extinguish irrational thoughts that contribute to anxiety and or depression. I didn't want to give you guys, I know it's a BDI too, but I left the idea of there is some anxiety in there as well. And in Group B, Angela and Amanda, you guys will do the same thing, but except I want you guys to use the mindset of solution-focused therapy and generate 1 intervention each that will help Jessica from a solution-focused therapy lens. So take a few minutes to do that, about 2 or 3 minutes. Then I want you guys, I want to hear your answers, and I want you guys to kind of discuss amongst yourselves a little bit of why you chose that particular intervention. Oh, those were examples, by the way, I posted on there to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're looking for. So we'll give you guys about another minute and a half here. All right, about another 30 more seconds. All right, guys. If I could, I would love to have Group A go first and share their intervention for CBT.
Okay. What I came up with was just general talk therapy. Basically asking the questions like, Jessica, what are your current symptoms? Also, maybe how things have changed in the past 2 years, since she has been a resident now for 2 years. So things in the past may have maybe coming up or, you know, triggering her. And also discussing maybe relationships with others in her life, like her husband or her close friend.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, Lisa.
Also thought about maybe having her do some personal journaling, maybe just to express her feelings, distinguish between rational feelings and maybe some feelings that might not be rational or irrational, and then have her think of some positive self-affirmations.
Okay, thank you. All right, next group. Angela or Amanda?
So I would assess how her coping abilities and resiliency, I guess, how she managed. It sounds like she was a very functioning adult, high stress job, very successful. But how did she cope in the past compared to how she's coping now in the current? So we can kind of get an idea of what's changed, and from there, kind of being able to set goals for her, short-term goals, to we can adapt coping skills to her current life stressors.
Wonderful. Okay. All right, Amanda.
So one of the things that she was having issues with was showing up to work. So discussing what it would take for her to be able to show up for work, what that solution would be to get her out of bed and going to work regularly. Does she need to be part-time or something like that in the interim until she can get back to where she was? Just discussing not the problem of her not going to work, but how was she functioning there before? What was she doing to make it every day before?
Well, I'm glad you said that. So you're exactly right on that latter part. It's essentially saying, okay, you've made it to work. So on those days that you went to work, like what was going on? You know what I mean? I set my alarm earlier. You know what I mean? I had a better breakfast. You're exactly right. You're on the right track there. So as a group, and feel free to jump in. So what are some similarities between CBT and SFT?
I think in both of those types of therapies, the client is able to verbalize with the therapist of the emotional distress. And then just maybe understanding patterns of behavior. I think that's really important. And then they both kind of address the current situation.
Yeah. Who else?
Would you say they're both like goal oriented?
Yes.
I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Okay. So ultimately, yes, the goal is obviously to acknowledge there is a problem, but then, to find a solution. CBT tends to take a path of helping, well, both of them help problem solve. CBT tends to kind of go with that, well, let's identify the problem, let's work together to find some solutions, and then, whereas CBT or SFT more focuses on, okay, we know the problem exists, so what worked when we were trying to go through this before, versus what didn't work. So what are some of the differences you guys have noted, especially in the language from the SFT CBT worksheet that we did? What are you guys differences between the two?
Seems like the SFT is a little bit more, it's strength oriented. So you're looking for those bright spots, things that worked well for them in the past, and how they can utilize that to work towards the goal that they're trying to achieve now. Where the CBT is really seems more focused on the problem itself.
Exactly. Anybody else? Any significant differences? No. Of course, now the question is, especially with those that work with adolescents and kids and as well as the elderly, so in what ways can SFT impact your counseling sessions, you think, from what you guys may have been doing before?
I think, go ahead.
I usually ask, since I'm working with kids, what are things like coping skills that they've used before that have worked versus coping skills that they've used that they've hated, that have not worked for them, and then try to help them focus on the ones that have worked as a solution to their issue, since they've already been able to identify what works for them.
Right. That's good. Anybody else?
I think the SFT also kind of puts the client in the driver's seat.
Yes.
And it helps them focus on what their strengths are. So not only will that help them in that goal that they're trying to achieve, but in other things in their life too, because they're going to be focused more on those things that are strengths, and that helps them guide themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So questions. So a lot of you guys know I do a lot of Rogerian therapy in my counseling sessions. Rogerian therapy focuses a lot on the solution-focused therapy approach because Carl Rogers identifies three things: unconditional positive regard, congruence, and empathy with the client. You've got to have a solution-focused mindset when utilizing those three pieces with SFT. There's three pieces, with SFT, because the biggest thing that Carl Rogers believed in is autonomy. And when a person realizes their strengths, they're more apt to be able to find the solutions, for their problems. A lot of people come to therapy, and I'm sure you guys have experienced this in here as well. They know what the issues is. When I used to teach AOD treatment, I didn't ask them, why are you here for? It's because they have drug addiction, right? And at first, that sounds like the problem, using CBT in that model with clients who have a drug and alcohol addiction, it starts to focus on, well, when you were using alcohol, what happened? Well, I got in a car accident. I lost my job, solution-focused therapy. The times that you were sober, what do you remember most about those situations? Oh, well, I remember going to the family picnic, and for once I wasn't the family drunk there. I participated in games, So it's really about focusing on those future questions or future statements. Angela, you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, just make sure. So any questions about anything? Can you guys identify at least one thing? I'll go start with Lisa that you learned from today's lesson.
Just learning how to implement, not just knowing the differences, but how to implement those with clients.
Amanda?
I learned that I'm using solution-focused therapy and had no idea.
That's awesome. That's good. Alana?
I guess even just comparing the two, you know, they are quite different, but there are some similarities between the two.
Yes. Yes. And Miss Angela?
Just understanding that solution focused therapy, it seems to like focus more on the current and how to move forward and build upon strengths, whereas CBT seems to be more deep rooted and more thought reframing and correlation between thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, whereas solution focused therapy seems more of a good short term, I guess, for time sensitive cases, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, solution-focused therapy, also you guys may have heard of brief solution-focused therapy. And typically those sessions are about 12 to 14, and that's it. It's basically get in there, help you find the solution to your problem, help you guys keep track as each week progresses that you're moving towards your goal, and then that's it. You wrap it up. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you guys take what you've learned today and apply it to your field of work. And again, thank you, and I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
You're welcome.